Hello everyone and welcome to my webinar. This webinar is all about how to make £1,000 per week using Facebook pages in only 2 hours per week. This is an automated system. If you could afford to spend less than 2 hours a week and earn more than the average wage in the UK, this is a system for you. This webinar is for you if you are currently on Facebook. In other words, you have your own profile page, and most people do nowadays. If you're looking for an easy and interesting way of making money. If you do not have a lot of spare time. Once you set this up, it runs almost on autopilot, taking less than 2 hours per week to keep it up to date and running smoothly. You want to spend less than 2 hours a week, and you want to earn £1,000 per week, and that's minimum. That's literally just for one page, guys. Once you start seeing the system for what it is and how you can ramp it up, you can have 50 plus pages earning over £50,000 a week and more, as long as you put the work in the first place. It doesn't take long to set up a page. I can now set up a page in an hour, 2 hours maximum. And I'm working up to that 50 plus pages, all running automatically, all earning me a full-time income online. You want to enjoy what you do, and that's really important to me. I've done all of the jobs that you can think of, all of the different careers. I've been in sales management. I've had my own bricks and mortar business, all lots of hard work. Some things I enjoyed doing, and there were things that I didn't enjoy doing. I now choose what I want to do. I now choose when I wake up. I now choose when I want to work and from where, which is the biggest freedom ever. It's worth more than the money that I earn. You want to turn a hobby or an interest into an income. I say to my son on a regular basis, how much fun would it be if you could actually play football and make a living out of it? You enjoy football. So training would not be a hardship. You could go training and enjoy it because you do it for free and you do it for fun now. You play a match because you enjoy playing it and get paid for it. That's exactly the same as this process now. If you've been trying to make money online for a while, guys, and nothing is working, this works. The amount of time that I put into helping and encouraging and motivating and tweaking each one of my students, basically, it's a no-brainer, guys. This definitely works, and I don't stop until you are actually making a very decent income online. Facebook advertising policies are always changing. I've literally just changed this presentation this morning because the advertising policies have changed again. But if you do it right, you will achieve by far the best return on investment on the internet without a doubt. If you know how to put a Facebook advert together and how to use the different methodology and make sure that you stay within the policies that Facebook adheres to, you will make sure that you make a fantastic income online. But it takes a long time to keep up to date with them. They change so often. What worked last week might not work this week. What was allowed last week might not be allowed this week. So you have to keep up to date with them. That takes time. That takes effort. I take all of that out for you and I do it for you. Now, there's three big problems that I faced personally when I was trying to start my online business. The first thing you need to do is you have to build a website. Now, with building a website, if you have the confidence and the knowledge and the ability to build your own website, fantastic, great. But it still takes a lot of time and a lot of tweaking and making sure that it's working and it's attracting the right types of customers. Once you've got that website up there, you then need to drive traffic to your website. So you need to show and shout about everything you've done and put the effort in so far. Now, getting the traffic is not that difficult if you know what you're doing. And it's a unique mix of what's basically out there and on offer at the moment, and making sure you're staying up to date with what's working best and achieving the best return on investment you can possibly. But if you don't know what you're doing, building a website and getting traffic to that website are two of the biggest problems. The third one is, which I found very, very difficult when I first started online, is which strategy do you follow? There's so much noise online. There's so many different people saying, follow me, I can earn you money. Follow me, my system works. Look at my push button system, because literally you push a button and it's going to earn you millions of pounds. Now, unfortunately, guys, if there were systems like that, people wouldn't be selling them. Unless there is effort involved, at least in the first stages, to get it set up, make sure it's running properly, people would not, I guarantee you, be selling a push button system that you literally just pushed a button and earn thousands of pounds, because they'd be doing it themselves, or they'd be paying people a wage. It's very simple for me to work out. If I had a system that literally all it took was a little tiny bit of time, you push a button and you watch the sales coming in, I would just employ thousands of people to do that for me and earn the millions and millions and millions of pounds on a daily basis. Okay, by the end of this presentation, guys, the good news is you're going to have a web page built and on one of the biggest known traffic sources on the planet. And you're going to know how to turn it into £1,000 per week and scale it up to as big as you want it to. Now, if that's of interest, say aye. Thank you very much. Let's get on with it. Okay, what led me to this webinar in the first place, guys? Now, I've got a very long story, as most people do. I'm just going to give you the highlights. I had a burning ambition, basically. I had a very, very well-paid job in sales management. I had a burning ambition to start my own business. So after months, if not years of research, I made the classic mistake of buying into a food franchise, Subway sandwiches. It was very hard work, very long hours, and very expensive to start. Now, when I say long hours, I'm talking about I was working 90 hours a week, and that was on average. 7 days a week, 12 to 18 hours a day, easily. Running the business had very high overheads, but I was determined to make it work. I built the business up quickly. Within 3 years, I had 3 shops and a turnover of £700,000. I had a plan. I'd read every business book you could imagine, and my plan was to scale the business up to 20 plus shops and semi-retire, get somebody else to run the business for me by the time I was 40. By the way, I'm only 35, even though I do look a lot more like 40 already, and a very, very tough paper round. Guys, I was making quite a bit of money, I won't deny it, but all of a sudden the recession hit. Sales dropped and costs increased. Food costs went up, rent and rates went up, and you don't have any choice but to pay it. Now, you don't have the option of saying, I'm not going to pay your rent increases, I'm not going to pay the increased minimum wage. You can't just take all your equipment and move to another location if traffic isn't coming in through the door. Now, I'm sure everyone knows the business model of Subways, but basically it's not a cheap lunchtime option. It's a nice lunchtime option, but it's not cheap. My average ticket was £5.20. The ticket basically is what the average person would spend in total. People started to bring their own lunch to work, guys, or go to the local Greggs. I couldn't blame them. You could go to Greggs and get a full lunch for about £2.50 compared to my £5.20. The problem with a bricks and mortar business is that you cannot move it. You're completely reliant on your customers coming to you. Before you make a penny, for all your hard work, you have to cover the overheads. I was offered no help when sales didn't meet the overheads. This nearly bankrupted me. I started to think that there were other economies that weren't affected by the recession, places like Australia. But I couldn't sell to somebody in Australia from my little shop in the UK. I was stuck, and I realised that I had a completely flawed business model. Franchising just wasn't the answer. It was, maybe an 80s or a 90s business model. It was outdated. So I sat down and thought about it and decided the reason I had failed was I didn't have a store with unlimited traffic. I looked online and found one of the biggest traffic sources was Facebook. Not only do they have the traffic, but they also tell you exactly what they like and what they want. If everyone wore a badge saying, I like Subways, then I would have found it a lot easier to target these people and get them into the shop. But we didn't have that information. You wouldn't know if you walked past someone whether they ate Subways or not. I could have chosen any platform, but I chose Facebook for a reason. I did a lot of research on Facebook, and I'm going to share some of this with you today. Compared to Facebook, which tells you everything about everyone, people post their whole lives online on their Facebook profile, which is why I turned to the internet and Facebook pages to make money, with no risk and very little effort. I went looking for someone, the same as I did with a franchising model, to help me with this. I didn't know where to start. I wanted to utilise their knowledge and build on it, which is exactly what I did. Someone was making this system work before me, So I can't take all of the credit for this. I paid them a lot of money to show me what they were doing. They were very quiet, unassuming person, very hard to find in the first place. Eventually, I talked them into showing me. I then took their system and I built on it. I then used some of my knowledge and some of my experience to build on the automation part of this process. So it now does literally take less than 2 hours per week per page. I am now in the process of scaling this business up to 50 plus running pages, all making me a very nice income, all at the same time, all on almost automation. So if you'd like to have a look at this journey and get some information and some free knowledge from me today, please turn all distractions off, pay attention, grab a piece of paper and a pen, and let's get on with the webinar. First of all, guys, I don't expect you to just take my word for it. Let's have a look at some of my earnings. This is quite early on in the process. This is back in May. As you can see here, I've got 3 different earnings from ClickBank, eBay, and from Amazon. Now, if you total all of those up, it adds up to about $1,700 per month. And like I said, this is quite early on with this one particular page, and it is only one page. So you can see the potential with this and where it can go. Even at that sort of rate, $1,700 to $2,000 a month, that would still cover most of my expenses and be a full-time income. But it's very, very simple to ramp it up once you start getting those sort of results. As you can see on a daily basis, there's sales coming in and commissions coming in on a daily basis. Facebook, I'm sure most people, if not everyone, knows all about Facebook. Facebook has grown to 1.2 billion users in less than 10 years, which is phenomenal. If it's not the top, it's in the top 3 most used websites on the internet. I believe it is #1 at the moment, but it keeps on changing with the other popular top used websites. The main reason why I chose Facebook, though, is not just because of how used it is. It's also because 51%, this main one here, 51% of people are likely to buy a product from a business page that they follow. And that's what this strategy is all about, guys. It's about setting up a business page in a specific niche or sub-niche, gathering lots of like-minded people together into that niche, get them to like and follow that page. You then give them relevant promotions. Now, that sounds really, really simple because it is. It is very simple, but there are very set ways of doing things. Make sure it works for you. Now, over 1 billion people, we already looked at that. Facebook have more than 500,000 logins each and every day. So it's not just a case of people, yeah, okay, I'm part of Facebook, great, I'll have a look at that once a month. 500,000 people log in each and every day. 5 new Facebook profiles are created every second, meaning new potential clients and customers joining Facebook constantly. On average, users spend 20 minutes per visit. That gives you plenty of time to reach out to them. And 510,000 comments are posted every minute. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better platform to launch a business on. Right, as most things, what I do is I break this up into 6 easy-to-follow steps to £1,000 per week. Step 1, you need to research a profitable niche. And you need to make sure this is right, guys, because if you don't make sure that your niche is both hungry, it's searched for enough, so it's popular enough, and there's enough pain points within that niche for people to actually pay for results or solutions to their pains, then you could do all of the other 5 steps and not get anywhere because your niche wasn't the right niche in the first place. Step 2, you need to create, and I'll build on this, you need to create a kick-ass Facebook page, not just any Facebook page. It needs to be a page that attracts your target audience, people who are going to spend money. As fun as this is and as fun as you can make it, at the end of the day, you still need to make an income from it to make it worth your while. You are going to have to invest a little tiny bit of money in advertising. You want to recoup that and make a profit. So you need to create the right Facebook page. You need to generate content, and not just any content. This content needs to be engaging, and it needs to be relevant, and it needs to be valuable to your end user, to your fans. Basically, there's a way of ensuring that people spread the word for you. So it doesn't cost you any more in advertising pounds, because they're telling their friends to like your page because you are fantastic and you're giving more than you're taking. You're giving the valuable information, which is the reason why they joined your page in the first place. You need to get traffic. Obviously, you need to drive the right types of people to your page to ensure that they are going to spend money and they're going to interact, engage, and enjoy the content that you're posting. You then obviously need to make money from it. You need to monetize your Facebook page, and there are lots of different ways of doing that. Some ways work for some niches, some ways don't. The only thing that takes any time, guys, is you need to update and build relationships with your audience. That, for me now, I've actually managed to almost completely automate that process as well. What I now do is on a Sunday evening is I sit down and I spend 3 or 4 hours and I write updates for the whole week for all of my pages, because you can now schedule your post to come out at certain times, certain days. So I can't make it any more automated than what it is. The only way I can make it any more automated is just pay somebody else to do it. And to be honest, I quite like doing it. It doesn't take up much of my time. I like the engagement with my audience, and I like other benefits it brings as well. Okay, so let's have a look at each step in more detail. Step 1, research a profitable niche. It's best to start with what you already know and what you're already passionate about. Now, it's quite important, because if you don't do something you're passionate about, I'm going to show you some examples on a fishing niche in a second, which I have absolutely no interest in whatsoever. Now, I can't think of anything worse than trying to think of something valuable to say, content-wise, on a daily and weekly basis on a fishing site. I just can't imagine it. I'd rather go to work 9 to 5. So really, guys, you really need to have a genuine passion and interest in what you're doing. And the way I did it is I sat down and I made a list of all my hobbies, my interests, and my experiences, to see if there was anything that I thought I could build or research a niche in more detail from something I already know. Google it. If you have a general idea, and I don't mean just normal Google search, there are lots of other ways that you can use Google as well. You've got Google Trends, you've got Google Insights, you've also got Google keyword search. All of those things are really, really useful, but you can also use the normal Google search term as well. Find ideas online. If you've got a seed of an idea, or you've got an inkling of sort of basic what I want to do, you then need to sort of narrow that down to a very specific sub niche to make sure it's going to be of the most benefit to you. Do a keyword search. Once you've got the idea, go into the Google Easy Search function and actually make sure that there are enough monthly searches within the niche that you've chosen. And it'll give you related searches as well. So the search or the niche that you've originally thought about, it might actually be saying, well, actually this one is better, because if I use fishing as an example, you could be looking at fishing as a term. That's a niche. But the sub-niche that I might want to specify in could be fly fishing, or it could be deep sea fishing, or it could be fishing reels for the fishing waders. I don't know. I don't know much about the niche because I don't work in it and I have no interest, which goes back to my first point. But do the keyword search. It gives you lots of related information. How many searches do you think would make the niche worthwhile? I'll put my teeth back in. Makes the niche worthwhile. There's a very set parameter that I found works for me. I will only look at a niche in more depth if it's got between 30 and 100,000 unique monthly searches. Any more than that, and the niche becomes too expensive for me to advertise in, because it's too competitive. There's too many people. It's too saturated in that market. Any less than 30,000, there's not enough people searching for that particular term, so it's just not going to be popular enough for me to make money in the way that this system works. So 30 to 100,000 is my very set parameter. Where else do you think you can find profitable niches from? I found niches from all kinds of different places. Having a chat in a pub, talking to the in-laws over Sunday dinner, watching telly, looking at adverts. But the main ways are, when there used to be a Smith's in my town, I used to spend quite a long time going to their magazine section and looking at all of the available magazines. I would place a bet with you that if there's enough money for somebody to go to the trouble of researching, writing and publicising a magazine, there is definitely money within that niche. because they need to obviously sell advertising to pay for the magazine. They need to sell the magazine itself, and they need to sell subscriptions. Basically, they would do enough research on your behalf to tell you that there is a niche. As just an example, I come across, it was actually the Sainsbury's Smiths, I come across a whole magazine option. So there was 5 different magazines in self-building your own home. What a niche. Now, do you think people are going to spend money in that niche? Of course they are. If they're going to go to the expense of buying land, doing all the searches that they need to do, actually building it, doing all the research on the styles, spending lots of money on the architect, on the planning, they're going to want as much knowledge as they can possibly get. And if they can get that for the price of a magazine, or the price of a magazine every week, every day, whatever it might be, then they're going to do that to make sure they don't waste any money or make any major mistakes. There's a fantastic niche for you to have a look at, guys. Is it a healthy market? Do people or will people spend money? Don't make any assumptions about this either. Try and do a bit of research to find out. Because I come across, I just assumed that there was money within this niche. I put a page together and it just didn't work, and I couldn't work out why. I then went back to the beginning and actually followed my own advice and discovered that I hadn't found out whether was it a healthy enough market. And when you did a search online, all of the information that I was giving people on the page was there for free. I overcome it. Long story short, I overcome it in the end. But you need to do that research up front, guys, because otherwise you could be sitting there going, well, I've done everything right as far as I'm concerned, but I'm still not making the money. You need to make sure people spend money. So, as I promised, here's an example. This is Google Easy Search. I just put fishing in as the main keyword. Then I'm looking, obviously, to narrow that niche search down. So, as you can see, you've got fishing equipment down the bottom. That's come up with 61,600 average monthly searches, which falls within my 30 to 100,000 very nicely. Competition is medium, and the suggested bid for Google PPC is 22 pence. Now, if you look at down below, fishing rods, which is obviously fishing equipment, which would potentially be something I could be promoting, would be 82,170. Competition is high, so there's more people in that marketplace than there is in the fishing equipment generally, or people, the search results that they're looking for. And because it's a high competition, there's more average monthly searches, the bid is higher, so it's 31 pence. Both of those are within the realms of possibility, 22 pence and 31 pence. If you've got a customer, if 1 in 10 customers buy, which is a normal conversion for this particular strategy, 10%, you're talking about what it's going to cost £2.20 to get 10 people to click on your link. You've got 1 sale out of 10. You're going to make money on that. Another way of finding relevant or profitable niches is for dummies books. There are over 1,400 for dummies books out there, believe it or not. The same principles with a magazine. They would definitely not go to the expense, which is more expensive to actually write a book. They've got to research it, they've got to put examples in, they've got to pay somebody to write it, then they've got to pay somebody else to proofread it, then they've got to get it printed, they've got to print a certain amount of them. It costs a lot of money. They've then got to distribute them to all of the different places that are going to sell them. There is an actual For Dummies website. There's over 1,400 titles. These are 3 examples. Now, you could quite easily quite easily open a Facebook page in any one of those 3 or any one of the other 1,400 titles. WordPress for Dummies. How many people, businesses and internet marketers need to open their own WordPress sites? Now, if you've got a book giving you the basics of how to start and open a WordPress site, now, I would take a shortcut. I would buy that book. I would start a page. I wouldn't call it WordPress for Dummies, obviously, but I would call it something with WordPress in the title for keyword search reasons. I would then not copy. I would then read the book and put it into my own words and give that training and information to my end user and fans. Very simple. There's another fantastic example for you of how you can start. So step 2, once you've got that idea, you've done your research, you've made sure that you're onto a winner before you start. Now, it's the same as starting any business, guys. Now, I definitely would not have spent nearly £200,000 on buying and opening a Subway shop without, first of all, checking the area, talking to the people who run the other shops in the vicinity to find out if there is anything they know about that is going to cause some issues for business in the future. I spoke to the council about parking charges, and if there were any plans to make any more available or reduce parking charges or increase them, which would obviously affect business. I also wanted to know whether the one-way system was going to be changed at any time. I also did a footfall check. I went at different times of the day, different days of the week, to find out how many people actually walked past the shop. All of these are really important things to see and ensure that the business was going to be successful before I started spending any money. It's exactly the same as this. So once you've got all that information, you've got a great niche, what you can then do is create a Facebook page. A Facebook page, quite simply, is a business account on Facebook. You can start a Facebook page, anyone can, as long as you've got your own personal profile. Quite simply, the link is on the top right hand corner and on the right sidebar as well on your personal profile page. Then walk through some very simple steps. Basically, a business page. Why do you need a business page? You need a business page because with a personal profile, you have a maximum of 5,000 friends. That sounds like a lot, and it is. If you knew all 5,000, that is. But with a Facebook page, you can have millions. You can have millions of people who follow and like your page. The more people that you have liking your page, the more money you're going to earn. It's that simple. Also, with a personal profile page, everyone does it, I know, but you are not supposed to promote anything. If Facebook catches you, or if you have enough complaints, they will just close your account down without any warning whatsoever. Here's a look at a Facebook page. So this is the difference between a profile and an actual Facebook page. This is a very nice looking Facebook page. It's got a very high quality image. The background image is good. You've got a nice logo in there. It looks professional. It doesn't need to be any more than that. There are other things that you could do to this, but at the end of the day, this is it's a charity. So it's a very, very good page for a charity. It's called Feel the Magic, and it's a charity run by a guy called James Thomas from Australia. He takes children from Australia that tragically lost a parent to Disney World in America. Very, very good charity, and as you can see, it's just an example of a Facebook page. The best thing about this is the actual quality of the image in the background. It's fantastic, very high resolution, and it fits in quite nicely onto the page. This is another example of a Facebook page. This is Steve Nesser. He runs Web Business Breakthrough events, seminars in London, across Australia and other places. Again, you can see the difference between the two. He's obviously spent a bit more time, a bit more money on this. That's definitely a professional headshot. I know Stephen, I've met him personally. He's definitely had his teeth done or photoshopped in that. He won't thank me for saying that. The image is good, it fits in nicely, it's professionally done. As you can see, the difference between this page and the last page, though, is that he's got some very professional buttons. If I go back and show you, you can see here the timeline about photos, YouTube, etc. Great, it does what you want it to, but on here, Stephen's actually got buttons. He's got events, he's got enter now, again, he's got his picture on there again, repeated photos, etc. So he spent a bit more time and a bit more, probably money, actually getting that done out for him. Okay, so a profile. Everyone knows about a profile. As I already said, it's your personal way of staying in touch with family and friends. It's a place where you connect with other people and people see what you're doing whenever you post. Maximum 5,000 friends, and you are not allowed to promote on there. That's why this system will not work on a personal profile. It is very simple to do, though, to create a Facebook page, even if you have no or little knowledge. I know that for a fact. My 6-year-old mother has actually put together a Facebook page, and it works for her. If you can't find the link on your actual profile page, which is the easiest way of doing it, just go to facebook.com/pages/create.php ? Give me a second to write that down. Okay, that's going to take you through to 6 options, guys. The 6 options are local business, company, brand or product, artist, brand or public figure, entertainment or cause or community. Now, 99.9% of the time, you are going to be starting a page within the cause or community selection. You're not a local business or a place. You're not a company or an organisation. You're not a brand or a product. You're not an artist or a public figure, and you're not entertainment. So it's basically a community page that you want to open. Now, you literally just click on there. Community pages, basically, they're a type of Facebook page dedicated to a topic or experience that's owned collectively by the community connected to it. Just like official pages for businesses, organisations, and public figures, community pages let you connect with others who share similar interests and experiences, which is exactly what this strategy does. Now, this is another example of a Facebook page. Now, it's a very good Facebook page. As you can see, there's 319,000 likes. Now, if that person wasn't using any ways of making any money with this page, I would have been straight on Facebook to find out if we could work together, which is another way of making money with this strategy. Basically, what I like about this is he's used very professional photos. Now, whether he's in those photos or not, it's irrelevant, but the impression is that he obviously is one of the fishermen in one of these two photos. So when you're starting a Facebook page, you need to insert relevant images, and they are very simple to do. You simply upload a profile picture from your computer. Just make sure it's the right size, and Facebook gives you all of that information. You can then upload, very similarly, the background image. Now, the best way of doing it is to use photos you've taken yourself, that you own yourself. That's the best way of doing it. It engages with your end user, your audience, more than if you use a stock image off iStock Photos or Google. Now, one word of warning, I would not suggest using Google to use on your Facebook page, because if you infringe copyright, either accidentally or on purpose, you will have the full letter of the law brought down on you. And the internet is becoming more and more in the spotlight with advertising all of the time. So if you have your own photos, again, going back to you have a genuine interest in this particular niche. Now, obviously, I wouldn't have any fishing photos because I'm not a fisherman, never will be. So I would have to go searching for photos that have nothing to do with me. Now, it doesn't matter if you make any mistakes at this stage, because everything can be changed. And in fact, in some instances, it is a good idea to keep these fresh, to keep these changed, on a sort of monthly basis. Now, you need to add some basic information. Why is your page of interest to your end user? Now, what I like about this page specifically is that the guy has even got tell your story put into his logo. So if I told you that logo could be generated for about $5, and he's actually put in there, tell your story into the logo, meaning that his end users, his fans, will actually fill the page with interesting content for him. Genius, fantastic. And then down the bottom, he's actually said, this is what it's all about. Love fishing, fan us, we'll get you out fishing, www.fishing.com. Okay, so as I mentioned a second ago, you can get a logo done for $5. You can get your background image done for $5 if you haven't got your own images to use, or you're not able to resize them yourself. You can get a logo image done for $5. Literally, you can get the beginnings of a page sorted for yourself for $5. And the way you do it is you go to Fiverr.com, which is a great resource. I use this for lots of different things. Fiverr's got 2 R's in, as you can see. .com, have a look at it. It's free to use. Obviously, if you select a gig, though, it'll cost you $5, which cost me, I believe, it's £3.23. Go there if you're unsure about anything. It's basically a form of outsourcing. You're outsourcing particular jobs or tasks, and you can just go, guys, can you do this for me? Always ask the question, interact, and check to find out. As you can see here, you've got featured and top-rated sellers. I'd never used a seller that's never sold on Fiverr before and hasn't got any feedback. And look for quite high ratings as well. They're all $5, guys, so it's up to you who you choose. Okay, so we've got a decent or half-decent Facebook page coming together in the right niche, which is the most important. So now what we need to do is we need to start generating valuable, relevant content. This is why it's always best to have a genuine interest in your chosen niche. Write about what you like about your niche and what your aim is for the site. Now, as an example, it could be the aim of this Facebook page is to bring fishing enthusiasts together. to share stories and tips on the best fishing locations around the world. I will also be giving you the opportunity to save money on the latest fishing equipment and information. Now, the reason why I put this example together is to show you that you can actually tell your potential fans, look, this is the benefit, this is the value to you of joining my page. I'm going to bring lots of people who have an interest of fishing all together in one community. And you can all share your stories and tips on the best fishing locations. I'll put some valuable information on there sort of once, twice, 3 times a week as well. But I'm also going to be giving you the opportunity to save money. So I'm going to be promoting to you. I'm going to be showing you relevant offers. Now, I don't mean the hard sell. I don't mean you must get this. This is great. Everyone's buying it. Buy it before it runs out. I mean, you show somebody an offer, and if they have an interest in it, they click on it. If they don't, they don't. End of story. It's a nice way of selling. I sometimes add a little bit of weight behind a promotion and actually put my name to it and actually personally recommend it, but I'll only do that if I've actually bought that particular product or service. I won't just do it willy-nilly, and my fans actually know that, and it adds a lot of weight to it. If you get stuck, there's another free resource you can use when you're adding content. It's called eDesignArticles.com. Again, it's free and easy to use. You can use the articles on the site as long as you include the author's name and link. You can literally copy and paste the whole article and upload the whole article onto your page, as long as you include the author's name and link. The reason why is because the author wrote that report or that article in the first place to generate free traffic for him or her. So if you literally go onto the site and you put a search in this example, for instance, on fishing, it would bring up all of the fishing related articles. I could then lift the whole article if I couldn't find any other valuable content anywhere else and put it onto the site for my fishing fans. Get traffic. Now you've got some interesting content, it's time to get some traffic. You can start off by actually sending your link to your own Facebook friends. Now, the average friends on a Facebook page is 200. So if you have 200 friends and they each have 200 friends each, it's an easy way of getting a good 40,000 exposures, easily and quickly. 200 friends, they pass it on to their 200 friends if you ask them nicely, 40,000. Now, not everyone will be interested in your chosen niche, and that's a good thing. But those who are will like your page, and they will then get all the new information that you post, and more importantly, any new offers that are listed on your page. It's a great way of testing a niche to see if it's going to be profitable and busy enough for you to actually make money. Facebook ads. Facebook ads have come along a long way. They're very targeted by demographic. You can actually target by gender, age, where they live, what their interests are. I don't personally spend any more than about 50 quid per month on Facebook page advertising overall. I don't think you need to. If you put the right valuable content onto your page and you communicate with your fans in the right way, then they will do the advertising for you. It works out about 2% of my sales revenue on advertising. You've got social media, you've got Twitter, Pinterest, Google+, etc. You can generate likes by posting tweets. The potential to build your pages is endless. And each new 10 likes that you get to your page, you're talking about increasing your revenue and therefore your sales. Fiverr.com is another resource that I use to get a page started. It's a great way to get volume, but it's not targeted traffic. What Fiverr.com does for you, it adds numbers to your page. Now, you can quite easily get 2,000 to 5,000 new likes on a page when it's first started by using the Fiverr resources. However, there's 2 words of warning with this. The one is, like I said, it's not targeted traffic. It's unlikely it'll make you any money. The second one is be careful with Facebook terms and conditions. If they catch you using a service like this, then they could have some negatives to say to you, if not close down your page. But what I use it for is just to bolster the numbers when I first start a page. I find very much with advertising and viral traffic like this, it's all about following the crowd. If you see a page with 1 or 2 likes on there, you're unlikely to like it because the content's not going to be up to scratch. Only a couple of other people are following it. It's not for me. Even if I've got a great interest in that particular subject, there are other people people who run other pages, they're going to be a lot damn sight more popular. All Fiverr does for me when I start a page is it gives me 2,000 to 5,000 new likes on a page. So if anybody does come across my page virally, basically what it means is they will like it because they see that it's a popular page, and that's the only reason I use it for. I don't expect to make any money. Mind you, I have made a fantastic sale through just Fiverr traffic before. Okay, step 4. Facebook custom audience. Now, this is an important change to Facebook's advertising policies. You can do custom audiences, and what you used to be able to do is do something called scraping. Now, what scraping involves is I'd go into a group of a very similar interest to the one that I want to generate likes for. So fishing, for example, I could then find a group of fishing enthusiasts. So because they like, or they're part of that group on Facebook, you can assume that they like fishing. Otherwise, why else would they have joined that group or community? You then scrape all of their details. So it's all of their unique ID numbers. You can turn it into Facebook email addresses as well. But that information then you input straight into Facebook Advertising Manager, and it comes up with, right, okay, I'm going to advertise just to these people. Just to these people I know already have the interest. I was literally getting advertising and I was getting 1 to 2 pence per click. It was fantastic return on investment. And as part of this course, I used to offer it to my students, and I would scrape any niche and get 15,000 people with that particular interest in. Now, I will not do that anymore, and I don't even do it for myself anymore, because Facebook have changed their rules to the extent where I've seen people get their pages closed down from using scraping tactics. It's deemed as basically spamming because the person you haven't got the person's permission to use their details and to advertise to. My justification to that was I'm paying to show them an advert. I'm not directly emailing that person and spamming them unwarranted. They have an interest, so I'm literally just using the fact that they have an interest to make sure that my advert gets shown to him and not to a knitting expert down the road. But there we are. Facebook have changed the rules, and so be it. If you do use scraping, be very, very careful and be warned that Facebook are closing down accounts without notice. Like I said, I used to be able to show people how to do it for a penny a time. Now, Facebook basically have improved greatly their own custom audience methodologies. You simply go to Facebook Ad Manager, go to Audiences, and you can create your own audiences and what's called lookalike audiences now as well. So you could do their own specifications within their audience functionality, and their interests becomes a lot wider now. So you can actually look at the interests functions where they were quite limited before. They've now expanded them greatly. So this is an example that I put together for you. So London plus 20 kilometers. I want people aged 20 plus, because anybody under 20 are probably not going to have the disposable income that I'm looking for. And the only interest I put in there was Louise Hay. Louise Hay is a motivational author. So if I was Louise, I was coming to London to do some sort of seminar or book signing, I would literally use this system and say, well, who's got an interest in me as the author? And there's 42,000 people. Now, I would advertise to all of those 42,000 people, telling them that I'm coming to London, and if you want to come along, this is the cost, etc. That's very, very simple. Now, these are the different sort of options you have. So you can send people to your website, promote conversions. Actually, let's go to the next page, gives you a bit more information. You can actually now do clicks to website. So you're moving people away from Facebook. You get people to visit your website for building your list, looking at your blog, etc. Website conversions, which is a new one. You promote you promote specific conversions for your website. Now, I use this quite a lot since the changes have happened. You need a conversion pixel, which is very easy. You just follow the step-by-step instructions through Facebook. You lift up the pixel and you put it onto your website where you want it to read where the conversions are happening. So as an example, I've got an opt-in page. I picked up the pixel from Facebook. I want to drive people to this webinar and to see this recorded webinar. Basically, I pick up that pixel, I put it onto my opt-in page, and Facebook basically finds people. I've already uploaded a custom audience of people who've bought this course, and I want to find people with similar interests. That's simply how it works. So I'm now paying Facebook to say, well, I want you to find people like the people who've already bought the course, please. And that's how it works. It's fantastic. Page post engagement. Again, you've got a page going on Facebook. If you find that you post something and it gets lots of engagement, lots of people commenting on it, sharing it, you might want to chuck a little bit of money behind that and get that out to the wider Facebook community. Page likes, obviously. Most people know what page likes are, but you want, obviously, page likes, because once people's liked your page, everything that you post, they will then get in their newsfeed. App installs, app engagement, offer claims, create offer for people to redeem into your store. Event responses, again, if you're running a webinar, some sort of seminar, or just a podcast, something like that. You can get event responses, and that's both on personal profiles and Facebook pages. And video views. You can create ads that get more people to view a video. They're going up against YouTube, basically. I don't use that a lot, but the rest of them I have tried, and some of them work very, very well and have a fantastic return on investment. I used to do the scraping for my students, as I already said. Now Facebook's shutting accounts down. So it is a word of warning. You now have lookalike audiences. So as an example with a lookalike audience, what you can do is you can do your own custom audience. If you have, I don't know, say a list of 2,000 people in an Aweber or a GetResponse account, you can back up all of those email addresses, and you can stick that file into Facebook Advert Manager. They will look at that and go, right, okay, we can find 1,000 people are actually on Facebook using those email addresses you provided us. Great. Now I want to look at a lookalike audience. So I want Facebook to find people with similar characteristics to the people I've uploaded. They then find a number of thousand of people with similar characteristics, and I can advertise just to them. So it's a similar way of doing the scraping, but this is more using Facebook's advertising sort of terms rather than sort of trying to go around the houses. You've got Facebook's own custom audiences, and you can now pay for conversions, as I've already gone through. So another thing that Facebook are doing, and I don't know whether it's creepy or genius, Facebook even tracks what you do on other websites, and they can then use that information for advertising too, unless you explicitly opt out of the extra tracking, an option that requires a trip to a third-party website or soon the tweak of a setting on your mobile phone. You basically give Facebook your ideal customer, and they find the conversions for you, and they can even then follow that person around different web pages they visit. So your advert is showing up, for instance, on BBC or CNN. They're looking at Google, for instance, and they're putting a search in unrelated to what you're advertising, and there pops your advert because they've gone onto your web page or onto your opt-in page previously, and literally Facebook can, if you're using the advertising methodology, they can then follow them around the website, which can be a little bit creepy, but obviously from Facebook's point of view, it is genius. Now, there's no point in doing all of this, guys, if you're not going to earn any money from it. You need to make sure that you're going to monetize your site, and you ensure your offers are relevant for your audience and Facebook page subject. Now, this is a mistake that lots of people make. You can have a page set up for fishing, and you can advertise or try and cross-promote something about golf, for instance. There's nothing that annoys your customers more, and I found out to my peril. I actually had to shut down a page because people just left very, very quickly because I advertised something that was unrelated to what they joined the page for. People don't like it. People join a page to hear about that subject. So you have to then make sure that your offers, your promotions, are relevant and justified to the audience of your Facebook page. And you do that through several different ways. CPA offers. CPA offer, all CPA means is cost per click, cost per action, offers, and companies will pay for different actions. Some want people to fill in a survey. Some people want to just get their email address. Some people want them to make a sale. There's different actions that the companies will pay for. Now, I've actually done my own CPA offers with some pages. I started with a golf insight. Now, with that golf insight, I did quite a wide and extensive search because I wanted to find something that nobody else was offering. I wanted to give people a reason to join my page over my competitions. And I found a golfing retailer that wasn't actually giving any CPA offers. So I had a chat with him, explained what I had. Obviously, all of these customers chomping at a bit, and a percentage of them would be interested, obviously, in his clothing because it was very good quality. I said, but I want an offer that you don't give anybody else. I want a reason why my customers should go through me to get to you. And in the end, he actually agreed on a 50% reduction on his clothing retail costs. So my end users, my fans, were getting a great deal, and they knew it because they were getting half the actual retail price, and they could only get that through my page. I was doing fantastic because I was getting paid for every new customer that bought something, and I was getting paid on a percentage basis. And believe it or not, the shop was actually doing very well out of this as well, because each new customer that went through, he would then obviously build his own database, and he could then advertise directly to those new customers, some of which are still customers of his today after a couple of years. So everyone won. It was a win-win-win situation, which is exactly what you're looking for when you're looking to sort out CPA offers. Two of the biggest ones on the planet are Amazon and eBay. They both have their own programs. Amazon Associate and eBay Partner Network. They are by application only. You're not guaranteed to actually get through. Now, I was asked on one of these webinars whether I can guarantee success in getting you through the application process. And I used to say, yes, definitely, without any caveats, until I come across a student who had been banned off eBay for selling some knockoff gear. I did eventually get him through the application process, but we had to start again. If he'd been upfront and honest and told me right at the beginning that he had been barred from eBay for these reasons, then we could have worked around it and dealt with it at the time, but he didn't tell me until after he'd applied 2 or 3 times. So I'd say 99.9% of the time, yes, I can guarantee that I can get you through that application process, but the odd 0.1% of the time that unforeseen problems, or if you've got previous history with any of those companies, then I cannot guarantee your application. And you know exactly what your history is with those companies, so you know whether you'd be able to get through or not. So CPA, cost per action, Amazon Associates and eBay. Everyone's heard of Amazon and eBay. And eBay actually have a program at the moment where they're paying just for you to get people to click through to their site, which is fantastic, especially coming up to Christmas. And Amazon have got some great offers, and this is their busiest period of the year, obviously. Right, step 6, guys, updating and building relationships. This is the part that it's the only part I can't fully automate. I spend no more than 2 hours a week on this. In fact, I probably spend about 30 minutes now per page. But I mean, it probably will take about 2 hours to start with when when you're getting used to it, and where do you get the information from, what people are going to engage in, what they're not, etc. Right, as if you're talking to a friend. Nobody likes big long words when there doesn't need to be big long words. Just to try and make yourself sound more intelligent. Try and tell funny stories, but don't force it if you're not a naturally funny person. Just literally get involved in the storytelling element. Don't try and be funny if you're not naturally funny. It helps, again, if you have a genuine interest in the subject. And if you're stuck for relevant content, go to easyarticles.com. Free to use articles, as long as you include the author's name and link again. So let's recap. Step 1, research a profitable niche. And you know all the reasons behind that. If you don't do that step correctly, and you don't put enough research into it, there's no point in doing the rest of the steps at all. Create a kick-ass Facebook page that's going to attract the right target audience. People are going to spend money, people with disposable income and an interest in obviously what your page is about. Generate valuable content specific to that niche. Drive traffic, and there are numerous ways you can get free traffic, but you do need to spend a bit of money to start with. Monetize your page, recoup your investment, and then obviously make a profit on top. Update and build a relationship with your audience. That's the only thing that takes any amount of time whatsoever on a weekly basis. And there are key ways to communicate with your clients, your fans, your followers, etc. So guys, when you leave this webinar, you're going to have a lot of great information from me, right? Well, I hope so anyway, otherwise I haven't done my job properly. But if you haven't created your own Facebook page before, it can be a little overwhelming. Am I right? Of course. So what can you do about it? Is it okay if I show you the fast and easy way to make all of this happen for you? Introducing the FB Easy Money System. How to make £1,000 per week using Facebook Easy Money in only 2 hours per week. You're going to receive step-by-step instructions on how to implement this strategy right now. The great thing with the Facebook Easy Money program is that you will be able to follow the step-by-step tutorials, making this easy and quick to start making money right now. The FB Easy Money system includes 8 webinars. Now, these webinars are done 1 per week. So this is done over an 8-week period. That's the way the course is run. And a lot of my students have said that they like the way it's set out like that, because webinar 1, as an example, is all about the first step, which is find a profitable niche. I give lots of information and lots of ways of doing that, lots of free tools. Wherever I possibly can, I'll give you free tools. If there is a paid for, I'll find an alternative, or an alternative way. I help you find, I hand-hold you all the way through the process of making sure you find a profitable niche before you even start, so you don't waste any time putting together a page and spending time and effort in the wrong direction. Step 2, or webinar 2, set up the page right. You need to make sure that you set the page up correctly to attract the right target audience. You know, use the right images, not just the right quality, but the right images. You put the right information on your page. You set it up right. It's user-friendly, don't user-friendly, etc., etc. Webinar 3, actually going through the eBay and the Amazon partner applications. I ensure, obviously, that we do all of that correctly. We go through that step by step, and I handhold you to ensure that you get through that application process. A third of my income comes from eBay, and about a third of it comes from Amazon. I then put, you know, the odd sort of clickbank offer and other CPA offers that other people aren't offering to make me a little bit more unique. Webinar 4, in week 4, communication skills, how to communicate with your end user, how to interact and engage with your customers. And most pages are different. It's not a hard and fast rule, this is how you communicate with people. That's not right. People, you've got to speak their language. And depending on what niche you're in, you need to do a bit of research. And again, there's free tools to help you do that and analysing of your particular page. And that's why it's in week 4, not in week 1. Because you need obviously some actions on your site, on your page, to ensure that you can get that information and put it into practice. Webinar 5, creating valuable content. And this is where, you know, you start getting viral, guys. This is where you start building on your initial sort of fan base, getting valuable content, and you give people what they want. You give them value. And that's how you make money online ultimately, is you have to provide value to your fans, your end user, to your customer, whatever you want to call them. You create valuable content and people will shout from the rooftops about you, and they will sing the praises, and they will do all the hard work for you by basically advertising you to all the people that they know. Webinar 6, getting targeted traffic. As I was talking about earlier, I used to use a scraping technique. I now use other Facebook methodologies to actually get in front of the right traffic for the littlest amount of money per person as possible. Go into a lot more detail about Facebook advertising strategies, how to make sure, you know, silly things like how to make sure your advert's going to be accepted by Facebook. I once had 6 adverts declined by Facebook all in a row. It was just because I was using a word that they didn't like. Automating the process. There's no point in doing all of this if it's going to take lots of time every week. If it's going to take you 30 hours to run one Facebook page, what's the point? Because I want you to be able to ramp this up to, you know, 10, 20, 30, whatever your aspirations are. How many pages do you want? How much money do you want to make? Some people are happy with 2 or 3, which is absolutely fine. You know, they don't want to spend any more time than that. They like having the whole week off and just spend a couple of hours either on a Monday morning or a Sunday evening. Now, the value of that is $3,600, and that's just from my time invested. Never mind the value that I can add to putting your page together right and actually converting that into monetization. What I also do, though, is on top of that is I give you 6 1-hour one-to-one with me personally, not with any outsourcers or any assistants, 6 1-hour coaching sessions on aspects building, monetizing and automating your FB pages. That's done over Skype. 3 months of email support to ask me any questions and, just to sort of bounce something off me, check something out, or ask me to check something out for you. Valued at another $2,000 based on the time invested and the knowledge that I can add for you. So here's what you get, guys. You get 8 live webinars, $3,600. You get 6 one-on-one Skype calls and 3 months of email access for another $2,000. Total value, $5,600. But don't just take my word for it. Of course, I'm going to say my product and my training is fantastic. This is one of my students. This guy's called Arzine. He was on one of my first courses. Hi, I've been online for a long time doing many rubbish courses, and I have to say that this is the best course that I have been on so far. Most courses just give you an ebook with email support if you're lucky. But the problem with this is if you're doing something new or having problems, email will not be sufficient enough. What I like about this course is for the price he's giving it to you for. And not only do you get 1 hour webinars where he does a Q&A to help iron out any problems, but more importantly, you get one-to-one coaching for 1 hour a week in the form of Skype sessions by Gareth calling you on the phone. This really helped me overcome my obstacles, and the fact that Gareth over-delivered and given me enough information to get me started was really helpful. Without the help of Gareth in the form of webinars, Q&A and Skype sessions, I definitely would have given up and just moved to the next online opportunity, then the next one, and so on, whenever I reached an obstacle, which is basically what I've been doing for the past 5 years. If you are serious about making money online, especially if you have not made any money before, then I definitely would recommend this course for anyone starting out at any level. Thank you very much, Arzine. But I just want to come back to a point he's made there, and it's called shiny object syndrome. There's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people online that spend some money on a course or on a new strategy. They follow it for 5 minutes, and then another offer comes along that promises them untold riches if they follow their strategy. They leave the strategy alone before they've even had a chance to put it into practice properly, and they start following another one. And that is a problem online, that people who do that and they follow that mentality will never make any money, unfortunately. You need to stick with a particular strategy and follow it until it does make you money. This is another one. This is called this is a lady called Bear Billiac from Australia. I joined Gareth's FB Easy Money program because his offer sounded like what I needed. Well, let me tell you, I got so much more than I expected. I can now use Facebook to build my business with confidence, and I'm getting results. Not only did I learn more, but he made it so easy to follow with live demonstrations as well. And he does what he promises. A lot of people offer you things, but they don't actually get them. With Gareth, you do, and more. I can't thank you enough, Gareth. You deserve all the success you have and more. Thank you very much, Bev. And then this one then, I also really appreciate Gareth's coaching, but when you have coaching with an expert, they just rehash their course on the call. Therefore, they do all the talking and you don't get your questions answered. And then your time is up. However, Gareth took time to listen, listening, and then answered specific questions, which is what you need in order to progress. I'm not going to leave it just as that, guys. I'm going to give you some fantastic bonuses today, and they're available if you're at today. Plus, I want to reward you if you've already made up your mind. You'll be happy to hear that you get these bonuses as well. Bonus 1. And as I've said a couple of times, actually finding the right niche in the first place is a very important first step. This is a great quality 28-page ebook written by Kevin Nugent. Choosing a niche is the important first step. This ebook will ensure you get this right. That's valued at $97 and it's still selling at that price. Bonus 2, Facebooking craze for internet marketers. Facebook adverts can be targeted to your exact niche, age, interest, gender, and even into how to get targeted prospects from your Facebook ads. Valued at another $47. Bonus 3, traffic overdrive. Avoid the pitfalls of generating traffic. Increase web traffic for little or no money. Valued at another $37. So, here's what you get. You get your 8 live webinars, 3,600, 6 one-hour Skype sessions, 3 months of unlimited email access. Plus, you get your 3 bonuses coming in at a total of $5,781. Can you do this another way? Are there any other options? Of course there are. You could pay a Facebook mentor who's done this to walk you through each step on a one-to-one basis. If you can find one. I found it very difficult when I was searching. I am a Facebook mentor. You can definitely pay me. I charge anywhere between $4,000 and $15,000 for me to set up a page for you and give you basically a business in the box. If you want to do it that way, you are more than welcome. I will give you my contact details at the end of the webinar. You can try and find an outsourcer, a Filipino or an Indian outsourcer to do it for you. But English is always a problem, and you're giving away access to your private accounts, which can be very risky. Or you could even spend years learning this information, spending hours and hours on the computer and still not getting the results you're looking for. Wasting both time and more money in the long run. The fact is, guys, there is no comparison. You're not going to pay anywhere near that today. And here's the reason why I'm going to give you an amazing offer today. Because I want your success story. Your success is my success. Because I'm looking for people to partner with and spread the word. I'm actively looking for affiliates and joint ventures that will promote this course to all of their followers and all of the people that they subscribe to, and obviously work out some sort of profit share deal. After today, I am going to increase the price of this package. I keep on adding more value to the program, and the price will continue to increase. So the value is $5,781. You're not going to pay that today, guys. For the next 50 minutes, the offer is $497. That's only $497 for a total value of at least $5,781. You simply go to fanpageeasycash.com. There's a very, very simple and easy to use payment button on that screen. It's literally just one button. You won't be able to miss it, a big yellow button in the middle of the screen. 30-day risk-free trial. I'm not just going to leave you hanging. If you, I don't want you to think, yes, but is it for me? Isn't it for me? Give it a try. Find out. You've got 30 days to work out whether you think it's for you or not. And it's a complete full money back guarantee. I've only ever had one person who wanted their money back, and that was unrelated to the course content. That was literally because they'd overstretched themselves monetary wise. They just spent a lot of money on another course before this. And that's fine, because she come back and paid for the course a little bit later. That's great. Right, a mega bonus for you guys, and this isn't open to everyone. This is literally just for you guys. I'm going to give you a 2-hour review of your Facebook page and a 30-minute consultation based on my findings. Now, I usually charge a business, because I do look after Facebook pages for businesses. I would normally charge $4,000 for a personal consultation, £3,000. And that's basically looking at their Facebook page, redesigning it for them, and telling them how to engage with their customers and actually generate more business and more sales. So, for today only, guys, for a value of $5,781, for today only, for the next 15 minutes, only $497. Go to either fanpageeasycash.com or go to the button that's underneath this video. It's the big yellow button, guys. If you go to the button below and hit the Let Me In Now, and you will get the joining instructions for the forthcoming webinars almost immediately. You'll get all your bonuses as well, and we can arrange our first Skype call and have a chat and work out a strategy and exactly what you want to get out of this course, because everyone's slightly different. And it's not a one-size-fits-all course. I try and tailor it as much as possible to your specific needs. And that's the beauty of doing the one-to-ones and the Skype calls, as well as the actual more structured webinars with the actual information and knowledge that I give over. So if you just go below this this video here, there should be a button there. It should have been there since the beginning of the presentation. And you can hit it any time. Just hit it there. Just go through to a simple PayPal screen. You can use credit cards, or you can use your PayPal account, and you can literally just make the payment straight away. Guys, if you want to go below the screen now and hit that button, and I look forward to working with you very, very shortly.